All right, let me break this down like I'm explaining it to you on my channel. So here's the scope. And what feels like the unofficial end of the Matt Gaetz ethics saga. We've got some major news. The House Ethics Committee has quietly decided to release their report on Gaetz's alleged sexual misconduct and drug use. And get this. The timing is no coincidence. Apparently, this is the same report that prompted Gaetz to suddenly quit the House just before its imminent release last month. According to reports, the release is expected to happen after the House wraps up its final votes for the year and as members head home for the holidays. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. As you'd expect, Gaetz didn't take this news lightly. He went on a bit of a rant on Twitter, and it's worth unpacking. Here's the gist of what he said. Gaetz claims the Biden Garland DOJ spent years investigating him for various crimes, only to end up charging him with nothing. He's calling a full exoneration, even noting there wasn't so much as a campaign finance violation. Then he takes aim at the House Ethics Committee, saying they relied on witnesses the DOJ supposedly deemed not credible. According to him, these witnesses were allowed to repeat their claims without him or his lawyers having any chance to cross-examine or challenge them. He even points out that he's never been charged or sued over these accusations. Gaetz also gets into some personal territory, saying that during his single days, he sent money to women he dated or, in some cases, didn't date but who asked. He insists he never had any sexual contact with someone under 18, claiming that any such allegation would have been destroyed in court if it had ever made it there, which it didn't. He then reflects on his 30s, admitting he partied hard, womanized, and probably drank and smoked more than he should have. Embarrassing. Sure. Criminal? He says no. He wraps up with a jab about not voting for continuing resolutions at Grouse that, in his words, screw over the country. Yeah. Let's pause for a moment. That closing line, classic whatevertism. It's like saying, sure, I've got my issues, but hey, at least I didn't do that. It's a strange flex when you're staring down the barrel of a potentially damaging ethics report. But here's the things to equate not being charged with being exonerated. And while it's true he wasn't charged, that's not the same as a finding of innocence. Let me bring in some legal context here. My co-host Glenn Kirshner, a former prosecutor, explains it like this. Crimes don't always lead to charges. Sometimes the evidence isn't strong enough to secure a conviction, even if there's probable cause. Other times, witness issues or other complications make it difficult to proceed. For example, in Gaetz's case, a federal judge reportedly found probable cause to seize and search his phone for evidence of a crime. But as Glenn puts it, the DOJ might not have felt they had enough to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt in court. That's not unusual. It's just how the system works. Now back to Gaetz's complaint about not being able to debate or rebut the Ethics Committee's findings. Here's the kicker. The reason he can't defend himself in Congress is because he resigned. And the reason he resigned? To try to block the committee from releasing their report. So if Gaetz is upset about not having a platform to defend himself, he might want to look in the mirror. A couple more things to keep in mind before the right-wing media goes into overdrive defending him. The Ethics Committee is evenly split between Democrats and Republicans. For the report to be released, members of Gaetz's own party had to vote in favor of it. The House is under Republican control. If GOP leadership wanted to shut this report down, they could have tried. They didn't. There's chatter that Gaetz might run for governor of Florida in the future. If that's true, voters have a right to know who they're potentially electing. So there you have it. The saga might be wrapping up, but it's far from forgotten. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns like this one.